Hey, what's up, guys? It's Scarra here from theScore eSports here with Fabbbyyy after a very dominant 2-0 victory against P1. P1 was looking really, really good. They're 3-1, I think, last 4 games. You guys kind of stuffed their win streak. Did you expect them to be tough when you're coming in today?
I expected somewhat because they've been on the rise recently, and we couldn't take them lightly. So we actually try harder today. Like we weren't like other teams. We're like, hey, it's P1, we don't have to try. But yeah, that really bit them in the ass.
Oh, is that to say that sometimes TL doesn't try hard against some teams in the LCS?
No. I'm just saying, like other teams probably didn't try hard against P1. They took them for granted because they're like 0-7, randomly start shooting up, getting wins.
How exactly do you feel like P1 is as a team? When you guys analyze P1, you really break them down. What was the steps that you had to do to make sure they can never win?
Um, they're mainly a top-centric team. They don't really play around Match Me much. They just let him free farm, and Match Me is probably an average AD. Like, that's not to say he's bad, but like he just wants to farm. He won't beat you in lane. He won't like out mechanic you somewhere, but he'll play team fights fine. He's like all tech pretty much. And that's all you play around. You just play around top lane. If you win top, you're good.
Uh, Speaking about these games, I noticed that you told me last time that you were picking a lot of utility ADs just to cover up like the more like I guess CC aspect of your team was maybe lacking. So I've seen you play a lot of Ashe, a lot of Sivir, a lot of Jhin. What would you say you rate yourselves in terms of like your champion picks? Which champion is your best right now?
Probably my best would be obviously Jhin. Like I don't miss my ult. I don't miss my W. I don't want Starbucks. Dude. What do you want from me? But yeah, probably Jhin first, and then after that, it'd probably be Sivir, and then it would be Ashe. Like, I'm comfortable on those top three, and, like, they're always up. Like, no one's going to, like, target ban an AD. There's no point, especially when I have Phoenix. Like, you have to target ban that guy.
So is that to say that you think Phoenix is super good in the LCS?
He's extremely good. Probably the best mid
You wouldn't rate Phoenix the best mid laner in North America?
in the world.
In the world. Oh, that's even more confidence. Just let's go back to the games a little bit. How did you actually kind of feel going into the first game? You're playing Sivir. Like, break down the game for me?
I mean, Sivir is Sivir, When you play Sivir, you're just playing a farm. You're not playing a win lane or out rotate. Actually, you can play it out rotate on Sivir. Like, she instantly clears waves. That's the point about Sivir. You can move faster one place than the other AD can. Like, if I'm playing against Triss or whatever AD, I'll always move first, so like bot or mid if we're running, 1-3-1 comp. But overall, Sivir is really boring. I don't want to play her.
Well, going to the second game, you ended up picking Jhin, and the surprise pick from the other team was that they ended up picking Taric into Braum. Is that something you guys expected?
I kind of saw it coming because LCK has been, they've been spamming a lot of Taric against Braum and Alistar. Because if you can get away with Taric, his team fighting is actually pretty godlike if you know how to land a good ult and you can flash Sun. Like, those two things make him really good in team fights. And you don't lose out in lane because you're laning into Braum or Alistar. They're just playing for team fights too. So overall, I expected it, but I didn't really think they would be the ones pulling out on us. I thought maybe like TSM or some other team would pull it out.
I'm kind of confused a little bit about your drafting game too, because you guys ended up giving them their best jungle and their best top laner. They've been known for their Hecarim Shen combo since like Enora came into the LCS. Why did you guys decide to give them this?
Mainly because that's mainly on me. Like, I'm the carry. The Hecarim Shencom was always going to go to me in my lane or in me in team fights. I just told him I was confident playing against it. As long as I have flash up, I can outplay them. So we drafted around that, and we focused on getting, a better mid and top matchup. Like, we won both lanes, even though, like, Phoenix may have got solo killed, but he came back in the end. I believe.
The game kind of ended up being kind of messy in game 2. Do you think it's because you guys had to go like dive into like Taric ulti and Shen and all these kind of really unique abilities, or do you guys feel like you just misplayed a lot?
We probably misplay the fights because if you hard dive in and then I'm getting dove, it's really hard to win that fight because I'm not outputting damage. I'm just trying to run back. But if my team goes in, like, it's just overall miscommunication and, like, bad team fighting on our part. Obviously, we're still trying to, work kinks out, but that kind of hurt us because the fights were really close and it was really sloppy, I'll admit.
Recently, Team Liquid has been kind of on the rise. They've been winning almost every game except for against the very, very top echelon in the LCS. What do you guys see yourselves right now?
We're definitely top 3, like, but I'm not sure where we stand versus, like, TSM. Like, I haven't played them yet. I've already played against Immortals twice. We took them to a game 3. You can't say they're that much better than us, but they're definitely better than us, I would probably say. But TSM, I actually want to see where I rank against Doublelift because he's probably the 80k the AD carry I most respect right now.
Is there a reason why you respect him so much? His mechanical skill, his decision making?
Overall, he's stayed in the scene for so many years now, and he's able to keep up top tier play on any team he's on. That just shows like it's not the team; it's pretty much him being able to individually like out farm, out team fight, out lane another AD carry. Like I don't see many other ADs do what he can do.
Do you have any kind of worry for the support? Biofrost, I know a lot of people have been talking him up this season, saying he's rookie of the split. More than likely going to win the award. What's your opinion on this player?
I agree with that actually. Biofrost, I mean, I always thought he was good in Challenger, but no LCS team really wanted to give him a chance. Like you don't really want to give a Challenger player that you don't know how they're going to play on stage. You don't know like if they're a team player, how comms are going to go. But I'm glad TSM took a risk on them because I always thought Biofrost was a good laner and he knew how to team fight correctly and peel for his AD.
Uh, you've been playing with Matt for a little bit. You guys played in TLA. You guys played here. What do you think is Matt's real strength as a support player?
His real strength would probably be in laning because me and Matt usually can get ahead in lane. We didn't really get ahead today because I'm not sure. The Taric matchup into our Braum was actually a little tougher than I expected. Like Taric actually wins that matchup, especially with Triss pushing me in all the time. But overall, I feel like our best thing with me and Matt would be synergy and knowing how to lane, knowing when to get that kill in lane.
And finally, Tristian has seen a surprisingly amount of play recently. You mentioned that you laning against him. What do you think about Triss at the moment?
The thing with Triss is she doesn't get by real. You only pick her if you're going against, like a Jhin. Like you wouldn't pick Triss into Ashe. You wouldn't pick it into Caitlyn. You wouldn't pick it into long range ADs that can abuse you in lane. Like even a Lucian will abuse you, and he's short ranged. You can only get away with Triss against Twitch or like an easy lane matchup like Jhin, because you can just push in and you don't have to trade as much. And then the hyperscaling kicks in, and then you're just Triss late game. You win.
Is there something unique about the build that the Triss you played against is going? He's going Youmu's, and he's skipping the crit items. He's going Youmu's into crit, and because I was told that he likes to power spike mid game and still extend his lead. Do you think that build is good?
The build's actually really bad. I'm not really sure why he did that. Like first item Youmu's, when you're playing like Tristana, you're playing for a PD, i.e. armor pen or vamp third item. But what he did is he went Youmu. Now he's forced into attack speed. And then after that, he has to get IE. So he needs 3 items instead of 2 to spike. So the issue with that is you do nothing late game until you sell that Youmu. So I didn't agree with the build at all.
And on the same page, a lot of Jhin players are going crit as well as armor pen. I think armor pen is more popular right now. What would you say is the better build?
It's basically Youmu versus Essence Reaver, depending on if you need consistent damage or the burst from like Youmu procs. With you proc Youmu, you press R, you get the bonus from AD, applies on your R, and then you have a lot of mobility. Overall, I prefer the Youmu because you're able to spike a lot earlier, and you can like lane against a Lucian 1v1 if you have the Youmu. You won't be able to do that with Essence Reaver. So I would always go Youmu pretty much, unless I need consistent damage.
And finally, where would you rate yourself in terms of North American ADs? I gotta ask you, man. You're very confident about your teammates. What about your own play?
I mean, I'm so new. Like, this is my first split. I was just a dumb kid in Challenger, cocky that, I was actually shedding on a lot of players in Challenger. But where I rank in terms of LCS right now, I'd just put me at, like, top 4 or middle of the pack. Like, I don't think I'm still growing. Like, I'm working on my comms, my team fighting, my laning. So I can only go up. But for now, I'll just rank me in middle of the pack. Middle of the pack.
That's probably the most humble answer I've heard ever from that question. Do you have any final shout-outs to your fans out there?
I appreciate all my fans. Like, they stuck with me, like, so many years. I was in Challenger for probably 2 years, and they stuck around. I still, get people saying hi to me, like, in LA, like, even at LCS, like, I get a lot of hellos or, like, pictures. Or I just really enjoy, like, talking or just taking pictures with the fans.